You get hit. Feels like I'm getting hit.
He's old. He's arthritic.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. It's over.
Go home to me and the kids, Jim.
Go home with what? Go home with what?
They said I'm through, mate. But I can't be a boxer no more.
You know, they keep cutting shifts down at the docks, and if you just don't get picked every day.
That's it!
Well, we ain't got nothing left to sell.
I think we need to pack the kids.
Send them away, then all of this has been for nothing. If we can't stay together, that means we lost. That means we're giving up.
I got you a fight. This one fight only. It's not a comeback.
Looks like they dug old Jim Braddock out of retirement.
Where the hell did that come from? When again, things maybe start getting serious.
What are you doing? You beat this guy easy last time.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Say the paper's getting all sorts of letters from people saying you're their inspiration. Like you saved their lives or something.
You're gonna be the next champ, Jimmy.
Are you scared for your husband's life? Max Bass killed 2 men in the ring.
It's no joke, pal. People die in fairy tales all the time.
What's worth it, Jimmy? What's worth it?
I have to believe I got some kind of say over our life. But when things are bad, we can do something about it. Make things better for our family.
I'm always behind you. I came to pray for Jim.
So did they. They don't think that Jim's fighting for them.
This fight's as good as murder. First punch he lands, you'll sleep forever.
You gotta beat this. You gotta beat this from the inside out. From the inside out. You get away with me!
Cinderella Man.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Hey everybody, just wanted to go ahead, recap, and I told everybody I'll be doing a video on this. Definitely, unfortunately I've been busy, work, and just you know how it is. But anyway guys, how could I not? I have a lot of messages in my inbox right now. Some of them shocked. Some of them just wanted to know my opinion. Some of them wanted me to eat crow. Whatever. I have all types of messages, and I'll address it in not a direct response, just by giving my thoughts, and it's going from there. First, let me just start off by saying this. I don't think people realize what truly happened on Saturday. I really don't. I don't think people realize what happened. Was it an exciting fight? We could all agree with that, right? It was a great fight. It was exciting. Shocked people for the most part. And I'll go over all that, but I still don't think people realize how special that was, what happened, and how rare that is. It's very rare that happens, so I just wanted to put that out there. Has it happened before? I guess you can say it's happened before, but this was shocking. This is the most shocked I've been in years when it comes to boxing, okay, where it was almost unanimous, okay. Now I understand there were those that were saying, no, he stands a shot, and props to them, but I honest to God, felt Morales stood no shot, okay? And I put a lot of stuff into the equation. It was a much higher weight class than when he was in his prime. Maidana's one of the hardest hitters at 140. Maidana's beating young lions like Victor Ortiz, almost knocked out Amir Khan in the 10th round. Morales did not look too good in his comeback fights. I understand there were tune-ups, but he didn't look so good. He went up all the way in weight, dramatic. He was coming off losses to David Diaz, somebody who, no offense to David Diaz, wouldn't stand a shot against Morales in his prime. He had a long career. He had the wars with Barrera. Even the fights he had won after the Barrera fight, he was taking punishment. Then you had the 3 fights with Manny Pacquiao. Then you had, of course, I mentioned David Diaz off for so long, gaining all that weight, coming back down. His body frame didn't look so good. You know what I mean? Every fight that people say is a mismatch, there's always, no matter how big of a mismatch it is, there's always a few good men, right? I guess you could say that always come out and say, no, this guy's going to win. And they give you all these reasons why, or they just say, I just believe in him. They can do Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Marco Antonio Barrera tomorrow, and hardcore Barrera fans will believe he's going to win. That's just the way it is. There's always that reality, So only that short majority, and a few who maybe saw some things, felt, but even those who felt he would at least put up a good challenge, were either there firsthand to see him train, or they predicted Morales to give a good fight, but they didn't predict him to win. So it is what it is. I still give props to anybody who picked, Morales to win. Let me just say this: just because I said that I felt that he stood no shot in this fight, it doesn't mean I wasn't gonna cheer for him. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be happy if he won. I watched the fight hoping he'd win. I still cheered him on. That first round was painful to watch because it didn't look so good. But he took his time. I think he knew in the back of his head any ego he's had in the past, where he would pound his gloves and bring it on. He wasn't doing it here. So basically, no machismo in those first 2-3 rounds. He weathered the storm, and he knew that was his shot. He took a lot of punishment. You saw his face, man, that eye completely swollen, but he took it. He knew he was going to have to take that and just outsmart him. Use that veteran mentality, and aferrado, stubborn. He's real stubborn, and he was going to make sure he gave it a fight, and he did, and he hurt Maidana a couple times. So I went in a couple stages in this fight. I went through a stage of I was upset with Golden Boy in the first minute of that fight. He's taking punishment. He can't even hit him back. Maidana's a beast. Then I went out of nowhere to a stage of shock. I was just in shock when Morales was backing him up at times and throwing flurries and hurting Maidana. He didn't get to work the body as much as he would normally do, especially in his prime, but I think he did what he could, because you got to be careful. Maidana could, decapitate you, so you got to pick your spots, and that's what he did. He picked his spots, and he capitalized when he had to capitalize. He humbled himself, and he played defense when he had to, and that's what carried him through this fight. That and a whole lot of heart, and I seen just about every Erik Morales fight you could imagine, and I've been following him for years. He's my favorite fighter of all time. So how much of it was not wanting to have too high expectations? How much of it was just being real? I'm just telling you right now, while the boxing world was turned upside down last weekend, Lemieux lost in Canada, then you had Kirkland getting knocked out, you had Johnson and Showbox getting knocked out, you had all these upsets, and this, it was just that type of weekend, and those it could happen in boxing, there's no such thing as 100% in boxing. There's no such thing as 99%, but not 100%, if you catch my drift. So that chance is always there, but these things are rare. I don't think people realize. I really doubt he can duplicate this. I really do, because I do believe it's a very rare performance. Extremely rare. Now, Where does he go from here? I think he definitely proved he has more left in the tank than we thought. Now, there's no saying every dog has one fight left in him. So, was that it, or was there more? I think that's going to be the big question mark in Erik Morales fights from now on. How much is left? Was that all he had? Did he leave it all that night inside that square circle? Was it all in the ring? So I think that's something he needs to ask himself. And if he feels confident, I think at this point, if he told us he was going to do good against Maidana, and he did, then he earned a right to basically for us to respect that and believe him. If he didn't do it in that fight, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, as far as the fight itself, what a fight! I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, that was an unbelievable fight. I honestly scorn it. In all honesty, I had Maidana winning 7 rounds to 5. Very close rounds in there. 8-4 is possible. A draw is possible. Morales by a round is possible, depending how you see it. It's a real close fight. So me, in all honesty, if there's very little left in the tank, I'll rather him, whatever he has left, take it on Marquez. Why not? A 4th fight with Barrera would probably be easier for him, and probably a fight he can take to get a victory and get rolling again. I think Golden Boy has to be careful with. I think they should match him well, and I think for he can reach his full potential, because I just don't think he's there right now. I felt they put him in too soon with Maidana, even though he had that performance. I think it was just too soon, even though I was never sure if he could be any better, but obviously he did great, so much you can say. Erik Morales is definitely one of the greatest Mexican fighters that ever lived, okay? And if you missed this guy's prime, then I feel sorry for you, because he was unbelievable in his prime, okay? And I still rank him ahead of Barrera. I don't care what anybody says. He beat Junior Jones. He beat Pacquiao in the first fight. Beating Pacquiao after those wars he had and having trouble making the weight, and he still beat Pacquiao. That's unbelievable. Okay, after he was burnt out, So obviously the losses to Raheem, Zahir Raheem, you have to tie that to the weight. You just have to, because no offense to Raheem, but he wouldn't stand a shot against Morales in his prime. He wouldn't. So that's the Morales we had when he retired. But where does he move from here? I think 140, there's a lot of fights for him, there's a lot of potential matchups for him. I'm not sure if he could win them, but he could give somebody hell. And the fact that he's beatable at this point, but is salable now, is going to intrigue a lot of 140 pounders, including Marquez if he moves up, including somebody like Zab Judah. Maybe Amir Khan, Timothy Bradley. He's in the mix as far as getting to one. He earned himself one more big fight. So, and this time people will now know he can actually put up a fight, so it's going to sell better. It's going to be better with the public, with the boxing fans, I know a lot of people are saying there's, steam missing from Maidana, and I don't believe that. I really don't. Maidana is an interesting character because he'll be struggling with Chop Corley and Morales, but then he'll be giving Amir Khan hell. So I think that's a fighter that any top 25 fighter could put up a fight with, but he can beat anybody in the world. Because of his punching power, because of his presence. You look at Victor Ortiz, and look at how he just made him quit, and look at how he left Erik Morales' eye. He knocked out Caio, a decent boxer. He almost, tore up Khan, and you can definitely question the referee in that round. You really can. So that's just what I wanted to put in, perspective, and that's that, man. I will say, through all the stages I went through shock, and for everybody wanting me to eat crow, look, I'm glad I was wrong. So you could say whatever you want. It feels good to be wrong sometimes. It really does. And that's that, guys. I'll still call a mismatch if I see it that way, because I honestly believe something like this is rare. This is rare. It just is, But it is what it is. I know it's going to turn everything topsy-turvy for a while. And it's definitely going to leave open the door for boxing fans to accept more fights, it seems, because I think promoters will probably take advantage of this and probably try and sell it. He does stand a chance. You know what I mean? I still don't believe, I honestly still do not believe Golden Boy felt Morales had that much left. I think they were hoping he did. They were hoping to make a profit and all that, and it is what it is, and how could you not, give Golden Boy props, and you got to give him due where it's due. All profits, and this was reported by Kevin Ioli on Twitter, all profits from this event were donated to Japan and the whole earthquake situation there, so, and that's good to see. Something positive, something good, and this fight, you believe you can fight your way out of anything.
Is there no one else? Is there no one else?